Call of Duty World War II, Liam McKelvey, you've been playing it.
I have, yes.
One of the big AAA games that have come out in the last few weeks, as is typical of this time of year, isn't it? I mean, you get all
those Christmas shopping games in there.
Yeah, exactly. And none come around as regular as COD, which arrives the start of November like clockwork every single
Old reliable.
year. So it came on November the 3rd. It's always about that time of year, isn't it?
Very start of November.
Yeah, it came out on obviously the main systems: PC, PS4, Xbox One. And you've beaten the campaign.
I have, yeah.
How is it?
It's pretty decent. It's one of the better COD campaigns in recent memory. People won't find it as good as COD 4, Modern Warfare 2, which I guess are considered the classics of the franchise,
or the new era of the franchise at the very least. When you're not counting Call of Duty 2 and all that. And that's, I guess, was the big thing for this one, right? Because it's going back to the Second World War, and they were trying to bring back those old fans.
Boots on the ground, as I said.
Yeah, many times.
Many times.
All right, we get it, yeah. Boots on the ground, great. Where they should be. Where they should be. I don't know how well a kind of marketing pitch that is. It's like, remember how they used to be? Well, that's what this is. that's the
playing
strong
on nostalgia, I guess.
Exactly. And this is the whole thing about it being set in the Second World War, which feels like they're racing the hole. It's like this was their big move. Like they were pushing further and further into the future, and then they've gone, okay, we're going back to World War II. Now that they've done it, what do they do next, I guess.
Yeah.
But so how is the campaign? Like,
it's a COD campaign, so for all their talk of boots on the ground and realism going back to World War II, it starts out pretty strong, storming the beaches of Normandy in the opening mission, and kind of like capturing French country farmhouses that have got like anti-air guns in place to them, stuff like that. But then by the third mission, it goes back to that COD formula of explosions everywhere, stuff flying. It's basically the Michael Bay of video games, I guess.
Yeah, all right. So what's that Omaha Beach level? I guess that's probably for some reason it's just iconic as a military engagement, isn't it? Like it's just for some reason it's been in a lot of games, and since Saving Private Ryan and stuff. How much freedom does it give you? Because this is one thing I'm quite concerned about, is the mentality of video games now has moved on so much since like Medal of Honor Allied Assault, where that game just set you free and you had to sort it out on your own. Games like just want to show you stuff all the time now. They're like, look, we've animated this big explosion. You better look at it. Yeah. So how free do you feel to explore that that battle at your own will, or does it kind of channel you down a certain route?
It definitely channels you down. It's the very linear COD formula of funneling you from set piece to set piece, just like showing off. Like, look how good this explosion looks. Look at this big scene of like trees getting blown apart by artillery shells and stuff like that. There's barely any like freedom to just roam about and explore. You're pretty much on a set path from the start to the finish. So
does it literally take the control away from you?
It does there's quite a lot of cutscenes where you'll be doing one thing and then random explosion. You're like, did I die? No, it's just a cutscene. I got knocked over and now I've got to watch this guy like drag me from the field to like behind cover. Then you can get back up and go back to shooting stuff.
It's all that stuff, and it's all like getting shouted at in the face by your sergeant, like, come on soldier, back on your feet.
There's a lot of very tight close-ups of a sergeant shouting at you in this game.
No helicopters in World War II, of course, though, so there's no helicopter crashes in this game.
No helicopter. There are plane crashes, though, quite a lot of them.
I can imagine. So the campaign overall then, is it a yay or nay for enjoyment?
I would say if you enjoy COD, it's a definite yay, but if you're one of those people who are like very, very sick of the same old Call of Duty formula, this won't do anything to change your mind, because it's still, at its fundamental core, it is still the same old set piece, bit of shooting, move on to your next set piece, bit more shooting, end the level, that sort of thing.
The big question for a lot of people, I guess, is it the same old? So campaign, that's obviously one massive strand of the game. Overall, it feels a bit same old.
They do try some new things with it. They give you sort of like a squad abilities, so after you fill up these meters, you can get like ammo refills. One of your squad, he's like a medic, so they'll throw you a health pack if you're low on health, that sort of thing. But
a little bit like Bioshock Infinite, I guess, with Elizabeth.
Kind of, yeah. Like except just on a recharge meter, but they don't really add anything. It's very shallow. It's not like adding any tactical squad mechanics to the game or anything.
I guess that is a very simple way of making you feel like your squad are part of the experience with you, because a lot of these games are like one-man army jobs, aren't they? They're telling a story where you're supposed to be part of a squad, and there's various characters. There's pretty straightforward way of if they're not fighting the enemy, they're literally helping you out in some way. So I guess quite a smart decision on their part to at least try and do something.
It's about all they do. They don't kill any enemies at all. The squad, they're pretty much useless in combat.
I can't remember what video I saw a while ago, and I can't even remember what game it was, but it was just some AI ally that was meant to be a squad member shooting away at an enemy, and it was like 60, 70 shots or something.
Yeah.
The enemy did eventually die, but this was like after like 75. It was on a counter. They counted how many times they actually shot the enemy, and it was like 75 times, and then he died.
Yeah.
What's the point of that? Anyway, that's way off topic. So what about the zombies mode then? So the zombies is another big deal, isn't it? It's a co-op experience.
Zombies is probably the best part of the game, I reckon.
Right.
Because it's very different from the normal zombies. Like, if you remember back to COD World at War, where zombies was literally just this like added horde mode they put in the game.
Yeah.
But this time around, it leans more into like kind of a narrative-based thing where you have objectives and you've got to try and retrieve an artifact from an old German science laboratory whilst trying to fend off hordes of zombies. Which I think they started doing that with Black Ops 2. They started introducing like objectives and story beats to the zombie mode. And they kind of carry that on here.
Yeah, I mean, World at War, that's where it was first introduced, wasn't it? And that was you're right, it was like horde mode, and it was kind of progressive, like you can open doors and whatever, and they led to better weapons and whatnot, and more windows to defend. But it was essentially just horde. But yeah, so that's cool. So they've kind of evolved that a little bit further. There's also some celebrity cameos, I understand, in the zombies mode.
More than cameos, they are the actual characters in the game. Ving Rhames as the main character, he's like a tank character.
Yeah, of course, he's Ving Rhames.
He's like takes a lot of damage. He goes on the offensive a lot. You've got like a support character, who's like a Scottish scientist played by David Tennant.
Right. Yeah.
And then Elodie Young, who plays Elektra in Daredevil.
Oh, yeah.
She's another character.
Okay.
And there's one more character, but I can't remember who plays her.
You can play as any of these then. And
yeah, you choose them in like the lobby before you ready up for the match. And they all have different abilities. Like some of them are support, some of them are damage, some of them like healers, that sort of thing.
Very nice. So far, COD, I guess, campaign and zombies and then a multiplayer. So, but before we go into the multiplayer, there is actually a new strand to the offering, which is the social hub, which is, I guess, taken straight out of Destiny, which is another Activision game.
Very, very much like Destiny. So it's called Headquarters, and it's like a place you can go to just practice like target range shooting in between matches. You can customize your character's appearance, you can change your loadout, all that sort of thing.
Yep.
And it's kind of like you can do challenges with friends. You can run like, if you remember like that obstacle course from COD 4, you can kind of do something similar to that, but multiplayer and try and beat each other's times, that sort of thing.
Does it feel pointless?
Kind of, yeah. There's not really much point in having it there.
In Destiny, it's there because Destiny is in part an MMO, so you've got to do stuff and you've got to go back to the hub world, which is the tower or the farm in Destiny 2, spoilers, I suppose. But you can you go back to these places, and that's where you rebuild your character. You've got all these, you've got experience, or you've got new weapons, or you've got new engrams that you want to break down and open up to see what's inside, and all these different tasks that need doing, and you need a friendly social space free of enemies in order to do those things, and somewhere to meet up with your people to organise raids and stuff like that. It serves quite an important purpose.
Yeah.
Whereas here, it just kind of defaults you to it in multiplayer. Is that right?
Yeah,
so
it does.
Forces you in there. I kind of don't understand why they've done this, short of forcing people towards the loot boxes. Have you seen anyone open up loot boxes?
I've not seen anyone else open loot boxes in the social space, but I have myself opened loot boxes in the social space because that is the only place you can open them. It forces you into this area where you have to use like a marker grenade. You throw it down, and this loot box just comes screaming out the sky and smashes on the floor.
Just like the real Second World War.
Exactly.
So I guess so. That's how they've made the justification there. Then, so in the sense that if you want to open these loot boxes, you've got to be here to do it. So there is if there is an actual purpose short of just hanging around and messing around.
That's all. It's like just a place to mess around with friends or other players if you want before you go into a match. It's just that. That's all it is.
I did think it was an intriguing idea, and I was kind of wondering if they were going to push COD to be more of this hybrid MMO type experience like they've got with Destiny as a result. But then, you just change the way the game is then. You've got to put health bars on the enemies and stuff like that. And so that you can't do that with COD because it'd just be absolutely ridiculous.
Oddly enough, I had this issue with the campaign. I played on Veteran, the hardest difficulty.
Yeah.
And there's a good amount of challenge to it. You can take only a limited amount of damage before you go down. But the enemies, oddly enough, take far too long to
bullet sponges.
They are bullet sponges on Veteran mode.
Okay.
Literally, you can hit them with half a magazine of your rifle or whatever. They'll just shrug it off and then one-shot you in the face.
Well, that's interesting. They've gone down that route rather than make them, the enemies, more numerous or more tactically astute as AI. They're just giving them bigger health bars, which is kind of
pretty much,
sucks, I guess. All right, then. So the last big strand, and this is the main one for most people, isn't it? I guess multiplayer. How much of that you played? You played a decent amount.
I played about an hour and a half, I reckon.
Okay, so early impressions, I guess, the multiplayer. Then. So what do you think of it?
It's called multiplayer. Yeah. Really, there's not much different to previous cards apart from you can't sprint and fight for an unlimited amount of time and jump on walls anymore.
No jetpacks or anything.
No jetpacking around. But it's just called multiplayer, really, just with a World War II paint job.
That's, what a lot of people might have been not afraid of, but, a bit weary of. That's what certainly I was weary of, and I was just hoping it'd be a little bit more special, and I have yet to plump for this game, and I was very excited about it when they first revealed it, and I was like, this is cool. This is kind of, might bring me back into the series, because I haven't played COD in years, and but that is kind of what I was afraid of, to be honest, that it's the same old COD. So so you've said that about the multiplayer and campaign, but the zombies is a bit of an evolution.
Zombies isn't even really different to the older ones. It's just very well put together.
Right, yeah. All right, so that's it. That's the COD package. I mean, so overall then, is it just the same old COD, or is it I mean, if you've left the series a few years ago like I have, is this enough to bring you back?
I think if you left the series, say COD 4, Modern Warfare 2, if you pick up World War 2, you'll probably feel right at home, I guess, because not a lot's changed. But that's what COD fans like, isn't it? They like playing the same old game.
Well, they do keep buying it. So.
Yeah, they know what they're getting into, and for a lot of people, that's all they want. They just want COD with some slight refinements, which is what COD World War 2 is.
Yeah, same again next year. Can't wait. Right.
Yeah, just different theme. I get Black Ops 4 or whatever.
Oh,
man.
What's it going to be? What is it going to be? Vietnam or something? Where they did that with Black Ops? Modern
Warfare 4? I don't know.
Oh, God. I mean, it's going to be interesting because, like we said earlier, they've played Ace Card now. This is going back to World War II.
World War One. I don't know.
Maybe in a different theatre in the Second World War, possibly something like Pacific or something,
World War II
Eastern
Pacific
Front.
Edition.
Yeah. Who knows? But one thing's for certain: there will be a COD. Thanks everyone for watching. We'll see you next time.